Alright, I figured we'd do a revisit to this one. This is a 93 to 94 Galaxy by Lasko, model 3723. This is actually one of my childhood fans, the exact fan. Story behind this one is, this used to sit in my aunt's garage all the time. And I remember, because the garage was like right next to the backyard, and it had a window that you could look through. And I used to look in that garage all the time and see the fan sitting like that in there usually from the back. And every once in a while when I would go in the garage with my uncle or my aunt or whatever, I would always bug them about this fan. I would always ask if they would ever get rid of it, and they would always tell me no. But anyway, years later, my uncle passed away. This fan was still in the garage. It was laying on the floor, face down, filthy. And I was in the garage with my aunt for some reason, and I seen the fan laying there. And I asked her about it. I was like, hey, can I have this old fan? Do you want it anymore? She was like, yeah, just take it home. I don't care. So, this has been in my collection for a couple of years now. A few years now, actually. I got this shortly after my mom passed away, I think. And yeah, it's been in my collection ever since. But yeah, it's a Galaxy by Lasko with the D-blades. It's in pretty good shape. It's not like perfect, but I mean, it's definitely been used. Looks like that foot is broke off. And the handles broke off down in there. So guess what? It has no handle. 3 speeds. As I iterate, no handle. And there goes whatever that was. The back of it. These are pretty big childhood fans. This is the specific one I had, or that I remember from my childhood. I remember seeing a lot of these in windows when I was a kid. Like this whole setup with the D-blades and the Marco motor. Very nostalgic thing for me. These in the 90s Lakewoods, they used to be everywhere. Now you kind of rarely see them. I think it had the feet when I got it, but they're long gone now. And there's the date code, 93, 94, 2.2 amps, 120 volts, 60 hertz. UL approved. Here's whatever that sticker is. This fan's actually in pretty decent shape. I wouldn't say it's mint. It's pretty close, but not completely mint. What the heck? Okay. Stupid screw. Anyway, we're going to test it on the kilowatt meter. I'm sure I have before, but this will be 4K HD. So here's high. And as you can see, runs perfectly fine. Just as good as I remember. And these do move pretty good air. It's kind of a dead zone up at the top, but down here it moves a lot of air. And we're drawing 1.87 amps and 161 watts. This thing runs pretty good. Move this out. Go to medium. There were several fans at the house that had this fan that I remember. I actually ended up with two of the fans from my childhood from there. The other one was the later version of the 3733 that had the oval badge in the middle and the D blades and the newer handle. She had that, and I ended up with that at some point, which I think I still have that one. She had the late 90s 3723 with the wind ring grill and the pedal blades and the Marco motor. And she also had a couple 2000s era Galaxies. And that's the only ones I really remember from that house, was this and the ones I listed. But I always remember a lot of that house and a lot of the other places I grew up around are the reason I like these 90s Lasko so much. They were everywhere when I was a kid, and I always liked them. But yeah. Anyway, on medium, we're drawing 112 watts and 1.3 amps. Low. And then my mom and dad, when they were actually together still, the earliest fan I remember was a mid-90s 3733. It was the smaller cabinet with this blade. It had the logo in the corner like this, but it had the newer switch and handle. I actually have a couple of those. But yeah, these 90s Laskos are probably among some of my favorite fans, just because they're probably like one of my top childhood fans. 90s Laskos in general, because I remember like every variation of them when I was a kid. There was the square corners, there was this version, there was this version with the newer handle and switch, there was the smaller cabinet with the newer handle and switch. The late 90s 3723 with the wind ring and the pedal blades. There was the 3733 with the oval badge and that blade. And then there was the version that had the pedal blade and that motor. And then you get into the 2000s with the Galaxies and those. I remember the Galaxies more than the Laskos from that time period. But yeah, these things are big childhood fans. And anyway, we're drawing 1.01 amps and 85.7 watts. Go back to high. Pretty good air mover. And off. I don't use this one much because it is one of my legit actual childhood fans. It's one of the few 90s Laskos that was remaining from when I was a kid. This one and the 3733 with the oval badge that my aunt gave me. But yeah, there you have it. 93 to 94. Well, Galaxy by Lasko. Model 3723. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching.